He is actually investigating it. We do not know, and there is no evidence, either from the governor or from anyone, that the EACC is investigating these complaints.
Senator Lekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've got two clarifications that I need to get clarified. One is from the lawyer. I was listening to, and the question...
Which lawyer? There are so many lawyers here.
The lawyer for the Assembly. Thionkolu. It's a very good name. Volume 3. We are looking at Section 45, Protection of Public Property and Revenue, etc. So you referred to 45, 2A, Roman numeral number 2 and 3. And specifically you said goods not supplied or not supplied in full, number 2, services not rendered or not adequately rendered. So the question that I wanted to get clarity from you is whether you are relying 100% on the IFMIS extracts or you've received audited financial statements as per Section 31 of the Public Audit Act. And I want to remind you, Section 31(5) stipulates that after the audit process, they shall be tabled in Parliament and also at the Assembly. So if you can clarify that, I'd really appreciate it. Number 2, I asked this question yesterday. I didn't get a proper clarification. It has come back again today on the issue of the accounting officer. Section 103 of the PFM Act establishes the county treasury, and it puts the CEC in charge of finance as the head of the county treasury. Section 199 of the PFM Act, which is a penalty clause, stipulates penalties which are going to befall any public officer who is in charge of the resources and does not account for them. Could you kindly clarify whether the documents that you've supplied in the case have been audited by the Auditor General and an opinion rendered by the Auditor General on the actual position of those funds? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Council, proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, we answered yesterday that the oversight function of the County Assembly and indeed of the Senate is not conditioned upon or dependent on whether there is a report by the Auditor General. So it is no requirement that we have a report from the Auditor General as a precondition for raising the issues and picking up the problems that the Assembly has picked in this matter. It is true, Mr. Speaker, that under the PFM Act, the accounting officer would be either the CEC Finance or any other person designated. However, what we have equally found strange, and I think one honorable senator pointed it, the CEC Finance refused, and it's on the record, to submit the documents to the Assembly in our submission on completely outrageous and frivolous grounds. The second matter we found strange is that the documents presented by the governor in answer to the charges are not authenticated by that CEC Finance. They are not authenticated by the chief officer in that department, among other people. We also found it strange, Mr. Speaker, that when this matter arose, the governor chose to call our head of legal as the witness to explain, as opposed to the CEC Finance. There is a question of goods supplied and services not rendered. We cited Section 45 5 of the Anti-Corruption Act, because it is one of the many sections that address this question of prepayments, and the specific reason we cited it, Mr. Speaker, is in our very humble submission, imprest cannot explain the prepayment of 78 million shillings, and even if it were to be accepted for argument's sake, just for argument's sake, that imprest would be an answer, that would be an admission to abuse of imprest by the very definition of the same, because the law specifies what type of expenses can be defrayed by way of imprest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.